Hey guys, Chris here, back with some more Baseus accessories that were sent out to me in exchange for this video you're watching right here. So the interesting one to me was this here, which is a 45 watt Type-C and USB charger that is also a 2-in-1 because it's got a battery bank, 10,000 milliamp hours or 38 watt hours. So great to see 2-in-1 devices now coming out, and it does have that gallium nitrate tech in here. That's kind of why they've been able to do this, because power supplies are now getting more powerful, more efficient, but also smaller because of that tech. A 65 watt car charger, and that's quite a lot of power output for just a car charger, and also a wireless car holder slash charger. So let's check them out. All right, so let's unbox the most interesting product first here. This is the gallium nitrate charger. Now, this tech means the power supplies are now more efficient. They can also be smaller, and that is how Baseus have managed to do this, combine a 2-in-1, so battery bank and your quick charger is great. So we're finally getting to that point that they can combine both of them without it getting possibly too hot to be dangerous for the battery bank when it's charging, having the power supply next to it. It does get a little bit warm charging, but I have noticed that these chargers don't seem to heat up as much as, say, the silicon. So that's one other thing there. So this particular model here does support a lot of different protocols as well for your charging. So power delivery 2 and 3 support, quick charge 3 and 4, your Huawei protocols, Apple, many others as well, all supported. So depending on what you were charging, you can see the outputs right there in the back. So hit pause if you want to read all of this. Now this charger does weigh 280 grams. It's a heavy charger, but you have to remember that it's actually a battery bank as well. So it's kind of normal as heavy. So 10,000 milliamp hours is the capacity and 38 watt hours. The conversion rate is 72%. So it will charge, for example, my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus almost twice, okay, fully charge it. So that's enough, I think, to keep most people going. So let's have a look just how it is packaged up. So it is well protected here with the packaging, and we've got a Type-C cable right here. So Type-C to Type-C, decent quality and good gauge cable if my camera will focus. There we go. And it's got the Baseus markings on that as well. Here we do have a fabric little pouch for it, just to stop it from getting scratched up. Nice that they have included that. And up the top here, there are some warranty cards and bits and pieces, which I won't bother showing you. That's kind of a bit boring there too. So here is the charger. So on the back here, we do have the 2 ports, outputs. They can use both of them at the same time, but of course it will split the wattage. So at the top, you get a maximum of 30, and then you have 15 out the bottom, for example. And if you're using, depending on what protocol, say quick charge 3, 18 watts from the top, then the bottom will also support 18 watts. So that's just splitting it there, depending on what you're doing. Or just out of the top, have the 45 watt power delivery to support there, for example. So on the side, there is a little status LED. Tapping this button here will let me know the capacity of the charge, well, the remaining charge in there. So 100% charge, each one of those bars does represent 25% battery. And you can just make out here the 45 watt and the gallium nitrate that it's mentioning there for this charger. EU plug, of course. And here is all of those charging specs, the outputs that this one does support. So I'm going to connect it up now to some of my devices that do support power delivery and other different charge protocols. And we'll take a look at just charging a few of them. So here I have my Poco phone F2 Pro. Well, actually this is the K30 Pro Zoom that I have, but they're basically the same phone. It is charging with just using the battery bank here at the correct quick charge rates there. So there's no problem with that. I've had a look at it and it's doing its job there. Now, if you were to plug it in, of course, then it does not use the battery. It switches over then to just AC, your normal quick charge, 3 or 4, depending on what your phone is going to support charging. So it's good to see this one's working. Now we'll have a look at charging the Nintendo Switch here. This one does support power delivery. So plug this in using the supplied cable, and then that pops up. Now I have checked the charging rates with this, that it went from 10% to 18 in a super short time. So it's definitely operating at a power delivery charge rate there. It's not just stepping down to, so say, only 5 volts, 2 amps. Definitely not there. So that's good to see. Let's move on now to a tablet, a Huawei one. So let's take a look at the MatePad Pro here, connect it up, and we should see the, yes, okay, it's already at 100%, but I can show you that it's using Huawei's protocol there, charging with their fastest rate there. You can see The power icon there does show those two little lightning logos there. So that's at the full using their fast charge, quick charge rates. And the last device is my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. This is the Qualcomm powered version with the Snapdragon 855, and you can see fast charging. So yes, that is also working. Onto now the car accessory. So a car charger, this one is not your typical car charger because it has a maximum output of 65 watts. And the max is the 20 volts, 3.2 amps. So we'll show you on this side here the specs that you can get, okay, depending on the output, on whether you're using just a single plug or both of the plugs. It will then vary. So if you use two plugs at the same time, you can see the total output will be limited to 18 plus 45, the 63. So I'll show you what it looks like. I'll also test it in my car. I will plug it in. And so we get a bit of paperwork. We get those funny stickers again. Okay. And here it is. So tiny in size. It's not actually taking up a lot of room. I thought it might actually be a bit bigger considering it can output quite a lot. So there we have at the top our USB port output and then the Type-C below there. In the middle is actually a little screen in there giving us the output information, which I'll show you now in my car. So here it is charging up. Now I've connected it up to my K30 Pro Zoom and it doesn't actually report it correctly because it says it's 5.1 volts here. That's not correct. The phone itself is actually displaying and showing it is using quick charge 4 spec here with the two little lightning logos. Hopefully you can see that coming through. So I don't know why that is doing that. It doesn't seem to be that accurate. I have noticed too when you connect two devices to this car charger that it may sometimes disconnect both of them and you have to unplug and plug it back in. Now when you do plug it in straight away, it gives you a readout actually of your voltage there from the port, which is great. So 14.3 volts there. You can see that nothing wrong with my car's alternator at least, so that's an added little bonus. And then I'll unbox our charger. So this one is Qi certified, so the QI, but you call it Qi certification, ambient light around it, 15 watts wireless charger, and it's like the other one there's one actually from Xiaomi that does open up very similar to this. So I'll show you what we have in the box, of course. It's part of this video, unboxing, exactly what we get here. So they do include our cable, okay, so that's good. Sometimes they don't. The car charger didn't actually have a cable in it. It was just the charger itself. So we have our bracket right here for connecting to, say, your dash or your window with a suction cup and a little ball mount there. But I will show you that shortly in my car mounted and set up and how it works. And this is if you wanted to have it connected to your air conditioning vent. Okay, you can do that. But I don't particularly like this method because, well, it can tend to sometimes, I think, scratch the vent. But this one doesn't seem to be too bad. So here we have the charger itself. So as mentioned, 15 watts is the maximum wireless charging support with this one. So having it attached to my windscreen is probably not the best position. I think the vent mount is actually a little bit better, and I will show you that just after this. So how do you use it? It's plugged in with the cable that I've got actually from the power supply. So you can use the black one, of course, would look a little bit better. So you just tap the button here on the side, and you'll hear then it open up, place your phone in, and close. And you can see it's starting to charge now my Galaxy S10 Plus, which does have its wireless charging, so only up to 15 watts. It would have been great if it supported 20 or even 30 watts, just for a little bit of future proofing, but that speed is going to be enough that it will be able to charge and use GPS. So just tap the buttons there to pull it out, no problem. So the mount, the suction cup here is quite tight. I mean, I've had it attached for a couple of hours now, and that is definitely not going anywhere. It seems to suck on there well. You've got to push it on real good, and then you've got the lever there just to apply even more suction pressure, and it does have a sticky surface to it there, so I don't see that going anywhere. Now if you're in a really hot climate, you've got your phone attached, maybe it could pop off. I've seen that on even the strongest, but I don't think it should. Now there are adjusters here either side that we can tweak, so different angles you want, you can flip it around. That is all possible. Now the plastic finish to them, there are a couple of little sharp edges, so not the highest quality I think finish to the plastic, but overall good build. I like the way it opens up very quick. I'll just demonstrate that one more time. So tap the button, place the phone in there, and done. That is not going anywhere, and of course it is charging. So I have it mounted here in my car's AC vent, so it uses the horizontal slats there, of course, and it clips into the top. And I'll show you how it does that. But first, I'll just show you that, yep, mounting it, not a problem here. Place the phone in, detects it. That is held there in place. And I will just show you the vent too. So it's got a metal clip here that's keeping it in place. And I'll just push on that, take it out and bring it up close here to the camera. So we've got these two rubber feet either side. That's where most of the weight will be. So on your console, won't end up scratching anything. But this right here, I'm a little worried about. So the top is this quite strong metal bracket, okay? And then quite a powerful spring there to keep it all into place. So that could end up scratching perhaps that little side, the vent, aircon vent there at the top. And I'll show you once more to put it in. I prefer it to have it in about this position. That is then clipped on place. And so if anyone was to accidentally knock this or crash down something on top of it, you do risk then, of course, pulling out and damaging your AC vents. So that's why I prefer the window or the dash mount style. All right, a very, very quick recap here. I mean, there's not too much to talk about with products like this, but I do want to comment that I am quite impressed with the way things are moving forward now because of that gallium nitrate tech with the chargers becoming smaller chargers, and they've allowed us now to get designs like this, which is great to see a battery bank, even though, yeah, it's only 10,000 milliamp hours, 38 watt hours, it's still a very decent size. And I know a lot of power delivery power supplies are very similar in size to this one, and well, maybe not weight because the batteries are quite dense, they're quite heavy, and it's so great that it's this supporting. Now, it's only power delivery up to maximum 45 watts with this one. So do remember that if you have a laptop that needs 65 watts, unfortunately this battery bank slash charger won't actually be able to do that. But for everything else, a lot of other tech there, some of the tech I review that only uses power delivery 2, and it only needs about 24 watts. It's going to be perfectly fine for this. Now, we'll use the battery up first, of course, if you're using your laptop running it as a battery bank plugged in. And once it's all gone, all the juice in this, then it starts to use your laptop's power there. And of course, you use it for charging everything. So great that I've got an all-in-one device. I don't need to take battery bank, laptop charger, depending on, of course, what it needs, and a phone charger, just this thing with me there, which is what I'll be using. The car charger works well, and it was charging at quick charge 4 spec, my K30 Pro Zoom. But I did notice that when you looked at the readout on the display, very minor little complaint there, that it's not actually reporting the correct voltages. I mean, it was telling me it was 5 volts or 5.1 volts, which wasn't correct there. So it's a very minor thing. And then the car mount. Great, the wireless charging up to 15 watts. I mean, it would have been great if they could support 20 watts or maybe even up to 30, just future-proofing, of course, with the newer mobiles that come out. But 15 is still adequate enough that my S10 Plus is going to be able to run GPS, the screen, and still be getting charge, which is good. Now, the bracket is very sturdy. I like the fact that you can screw it in real hard, so it's not going to shake or wobble about or anything like that. And then the suction cup seems very sturdy as well, locks on really, really good there. Plastic quality is solid. I have noticed a few minor little sharp edges though. That's the only thing. It's not like super high quality plastic, but I mean, it's not bad. That's me nitpicking. A very, very minor little thing there. The other thing too with this is, as I showed you with the window mount bracket, is that metal kind of clip. Now that could end up scratching your vent, okay? But you just put a little bit of electrical tape around it, I think, is a good preventative of that. So that means when you insert it, there's no risk then of you like scratching it, because some cars have like a rubberized paint finish over the top, very easy to scratch. So when you put that in, you won't have to worry about that then. So those are the products there that Baseus sent out to me. Really like this. I mean, this is the main reason why I decided, yeah, I would actually do a video on accessories, which I don't normally do, but great products there. It's just those minor little things that I pointed out. Thanks a lot for watching this video.